Even though we see a lot of MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros in coffee shops and in offices, Apple's market share in the laptop space is very small. Right now, they hold less than 10% of the market share for laptops, but you wouldn't recognize this walking outside. They have iconic designs and people really like their products. This year, Apple is taking more ownership over the hardware that goes into their MacBooks. And in doing so, they're also trying to expand the people who use MacBooks. New information about the laptops that Apple is going to reveal this November 10th has been released over at Bloomberg. Watch to the end of the video for my opinion on what MacBook you should be upgrading to next if the Apple Silicon MacBooks end up being as good as they are touted to be. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Imtihan and I'm here to talk about tech and tech education for the masses. Today, we have more information and details about what Apple is coming out on their November 10th event. I feel this November 10th event is going to hold one of the most important releases Apple has come up with in the last couple of years. They've had hardware success with their iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch lineup, and it's about time that Apple put more thought and attention into how their MacBook lineup works so that they can translate their successes from the iPhone and the iPad into their MacBook lineup. To do that, they had to take more control of the hardware, which is why I think that on November 10th, we're going to see a big focus on Apple Silicon-based MacBooks. According to the leaks by Mark Gurman and Debbie Wu on Bloomberg, we expect not one, not two, but 3 updated Macs this year. We expect a new MacBook Air, we expect a new 13-inch MacBook Pro, and a 16-inch MacBook Pro, all running Apple's very own silicon on the inside. This is the start of the end of Intel's dominance in the PC hardware market. For the last couple of years, Intel's complacency and lack of innovation has allowed their rivals to catch up, and Apple is taking notice. But instead of going to their rivals, Apple thinks that it can do a better job, which, let's be honest, it sometimes can. Apple is able to consistently create hardware on their mobile platforms that beat out their rivals. Qualcomm's chips don't hold a candle to Apple's A14 processors. In fact, the second best processor on the mobile market is Apple's processor from last year, the A13, and even that has barely seen any competition from the mobile chip makers. Apple's successes designing these chips for the mobile market is slowly being translated for their chips in the PC market with their laptops. And Intel's lack of performance gains over the last couple of years in the CPU market has only encouraged Apple to put their chips in their MacBooks sooner. Not only are Apple's new MacBooks expected to provide better performance than their Intel counterparts, but the savings Apple gets from manufacturing and designing their own chips means that they can pass that savings on to the consumer. So the new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro that are coming out are expected to come in at $200 cheaper than the entry-level models we have today, which means the new MacBook Air will have a starting price of $799 and the new MacBook Pro 13-inch will have a starting price of $1,099. If these rumors hold true, Apple is going to make a significant dent in the computing market. Many people are stuck around the $1,000 mark, and there's no good Mac option in that price point. With the introduction of Apple Silicon, Apple is penetrating that market space where a significant number of high school students, light computer users, are going to go for the MacBook Air because of its premium design and brand recognition. Not only do the new chips allow cheaper MacBooks and therefore more accessible MacBooks for the masses, they also come with significant other gains too. Performance per watt gains are not off the table. There is strong evidence that Apple makes one of the most efficient chips on the market. The iPhone and iPads have amazing battery life, and more impressively, their standby times are phenomenal. You can have an iPhone turned off, sitting on the table for a day or two, and it will have lost maybe 1 or 2% of charge. Same with the iPad. You can't get this kind of performance on Intel-based chips. So with the introduction of the new Macs, we expect to see better performance, better battery life, and better thermal management, all of which have been issues in recent Macs that have come out of Apple, mainly because of the blue Intel chips inside. I'm sure Intel is trying to address this issue, but I feel now that the switch has been announced, November 10th, we will see the start of the fall of Intel and the rise of Apple Silicon MacBooks. Personally, I think the biggest announcement this year is going to be the MacBook Air. The accessible price point and the performance increases that we expect to see out of the Apple Silicon chips is going to mean that it's going to have significant market penetration in the education space. High school students, university students, and lightweight users are all going to go for the more affordable silicon-based MacBook Airs compared to their competitors. I expect this will have a significant impact on laptop hardware sales outside of Apple as well. When Apple introduces a new product category at an accessible price point, it attracts people. Everyone values Apple as a premium brand with high reliability and really good build quality. When you pair that with their own chips now, which are expected to have great performance, you're going to have something to reckon with. Windows-based laptops at that price point will have a very hard time matching or beating the quality control and the performance of Apple-based Silicon Macs with Intel-based hardware that they have to license from Intel and therefore have a higher production cost on. The MacBook Air is going to be the laptop of the year if it comes out at the $800 price point. At that price, there are no equivalent Windows laptops that will have good build quality, great screen, and also likely not match the performance that you can get from the MacBook. Not only that, you have Apple's brand recognition behind the MacBook. This is going to mean that a lot of university students, a lot of high school students, a lot of lightweight computer users are going to gravitate towards the MacBook Air and forgo the competition just because of the perception of the MacBook Air as being the device for everyone. It's going to bring good value and competition to the laptop space, which I feel has been fairly saturated and unoriginal over the last couple of years. This is a great year to think about upgrading your laptops. Lots of great options are coming out, and with Apple's new silicon-based MacBooks, we expect this trend to get even better. I'm really excited about November 10th. I look forward to seeing you guys after the event, where I will be posting videos breaking down all of the things Apple will announce and discussing what value they can bring to you as a consumer. Make sure to hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you can stay updated for when those videos come out. That's it from me today, and remember to always keep learning.